Every year, millions of Americans travel all over the world. Fortunately, usually without any problems or risks. However, some countries are downright dangerous. Natural disasters, crime, or poor hygiene pose a threat to everyone. But sometimes, just being an American citizen is a danger on its own. Today we're looking at the 10 most dangerous countries for residents of the US, or rather countries where Americans just aren't really welcome. As we embark on this journey, it's important to note that our list is compiled based on several relevant factors. These include government travel advisories issued by the US Department of State, levels of political stability, threats of terrorism, crime rates, and the prevalence of anti-American sentiment. We have also considered human rights concerns, the risk of kidnapping, and areas restricted due to safety issues. Each country on this list presents unique challenges and risks, so it's essential to be well informed before considering a trip to any of these destinations. Are you ready to venture into the unknown, to delve into the details of these high-risk countries? Hold on tight as we start our countdown. Kicking off our list at number 10, we journey to the heart of South America, Venezuela. Venezuela, known for its political instability and high crime rates. This South American nation is a hotbed of unrest with frequent demonstrations and protests. The US Department of State has issued travel advisories for Venezuela due to high levels of violent crime and kidnapping risk. Anti-American sentiment is also prevalent, and coupled with human rights concerns, it makes for a challenging environment for American travelers. Next on our countdown, at number 9, is the Central African Republic. The Central African Republic, a nation riddled with civil unrest and conflict. This country ranks 9th on our list due to its ongoing political instability. The US Department of State has issued travel advisories warning of the potential safety and security risks. High levels of crime, significant risks of kidnapping, and areas restricted due to safety concerns make it a hotbed of danger. Human rights concerns also add to the volatile mix, making it a place to approach with caution. Moving on to number 8, we have Mali. Mali, where terrorism threats and political instability pose significant risks. Landlocked in West Africa, Mali is a country dealing with both internal strife and external threats. Mali's government continues to grapple with political instability, making it a challenging destination for any traveler. Coupled with this, the nation faces a high terrorism threat, with groups often targeting foreigners. These factors combine to make Mali a location where caution is advised. Next up at number 7 is South Sudan. South Sudan, a country experiencing ongoing conflict and human rights concerns. Since its independence from Sudan in 2011, South Sudan has been embroiled in a devastating civil war, leading to a great deal of political instability. This turmoil fosters high rates of violent crime and even a risk of kidnapping. The human rights situation is also quite grim, with reports of widespread abuses and discrimination against foreigners. These factors make South Sudan a risky destination for any traveler, including Americans. Moving to number 6, we have Somalia. Somalia, a nation with high levels of crime and terrorism threats. This East African country is a hotbed of political instability and civil unrest. The US Department of State regularly issues travel advisories warning against travel to Somalia due to these factors. Additionally, kidnapping for ransom is a significant concern, with foreigners often being targeted. The presence of restricted areas due to safety concerns further complicates travel. These factors make Somalia a risky destination for American travelers. Next on our list, at number 5, is Iraq. Iraq, a country where Americans face significant safety and security risks. Iraq finds its place on our list due to a mix of factors, from high terrorism threats, political instability, to a considerable anti-American sentiment. The risks are aplenty. Additionally, the U.S. Department of State has issued travel advisories due to the high risk of violent crime and kidnapping. These factors combined make Iraq a country where safety and security for American travelers are a grave concern. Moving on to number 4, we have Libya. Libya, a nation experiencing political instability and high terrorism threats. Since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, Libya has been in a state of flux, with different factions vying for power. This has led to an environment that's unsafe for travelers, particularly Americans. The threat of terrorism is ever present, and there's also a significant risk of kidnapping. Anti-American sentiment, fueled by the country's ongoing instability, makes it a particularly precarious destination for U.S. citizens. Next up, at number 3, is Yemen. Yemen, where Americans may face discrimination or legal issues. The U.S. Department of State has issued a travel advisory for Yemen due to political instability and civil unrest, making it a risky destination for American travelers. The nation is also grappling with high levels of crime and terrorism threats. Moreover, the presence of anti-American sentiment adds to the potential dangers. The country's human rights concerns and kidnapping risks further contribute to its place on this list. Moving closer to the top of our list, at number 2, is Afghanistan. Afghanistan, a country with a high risk of kidnapping for Americans. This nation's unstable political climate and restricted areas pose significant threats for travelers. The U.S. Department of State has issued advisories, warning against the heightened risk of terrorism. Anti-American sentiment is prevalent, putting American citizens at a heightened risk of being targeted. Furthermore, the presence of organized crime and human rights concerns add to the risks in this region. And finally, the most dangerous country for American travelers, at number 1, is Syria. Syria, the country posing the highest risks for American travelers. This nation has grappled with civil unrest, political instability, and violent conflict for years. The terrorism threat is high, with various groups targeting not just Syrians, but foreigners too. Additionally, the U.S. Department of State has strict travel advisories in place due to safety concerns and restricted areas. With a history of human rights abuses and a high risk of kidnapping, Syria tops our list. And there you have it, the top 10 most dangerous countries for American travelers. This list is not about discouraging travel or painting these nations in a negative light, but to shed light on the potential risks and encourage informed decision-making. Each country has its own unique circumstances, and situations can change rapidly. So, as we wrap up, let's remember the importance of staying informed and vigilant when planning our travels. Always check the latest advisories and do your due diligence. There's a big world out there, full of fascinating places and people. Let's explore it wisely and safely. What do you think? Do you agree with our list? Are there other countries that should be on it? Let us know in the comments below. And remember to like our video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Safe travels.